Do women really want a high value man? Grab your stick, grab your drink. Let's get into this thing right now. Yeah. It's your boy JB, live and direct to you. You know what it is. Come on and join it. What up? It's your boy JB coming at you live and direct, and you know what it is. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. I'm the real cigar Jeff, man. Y'all know all that stuff, man. Look down in the description. You can find all my stuff down there. Do me a favor, man. As soon as you come into the building, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for notifications, man, as we get ready to get into this thing. Y'all know who I got to bring with me when we talk about controversial topics like this, man. The people's champ is in the building. I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell y'all what he's sipping on and what he's smoking on.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, T.O. Clayton. Tonight, I'm smoking on, this is the Alec Bradley 40 cigar. Now I'm in my 40s, so that sounds about right. I'm sipping on a red wine tonight. This is the Menage a Trois out of California. You know, it's never a bad time for a menage. So we sipping on tonight.
Okay. All right. Cool, man. Appreciate you coming on. Y'all know, man. Look, all his stuff down in the bio, too. Y'all know it, man. Y'all know it, man. You know, it's a Sunday, man. We over here doing the thing. Yes, Lord. Man, y'all know who next, man. She don't need no introduction, but y'all know she the A1 from day one. I'm going to let her introduce herself. Tell y'all what she's sipping on tonight, because we got a topic tonight. Go ahead, Ron.
Thanks, JB. What's up, TLC? Thanks for having me back. It's your girl, Rhonda. Tonight, I'm sipping on in my Tar Heel cup. Big win last night for my Tar Heels. But I'm sipping on something tried and true. Just finishing off my peppermint bark rum chata with my hot chocolate. It's a little chilly day here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And my trusty Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast.
Nice.
Ice cold water with my hospital straw. Back to you, JB.
Coming with it for the night. Coming with it. As always, good to have R&B LMBT in the building. April, when you appreciate you being on. Of course, man. Y'all know I'm finishing up my box. Finishing up my box of Enclaves. Much boring, a little boring over here, but tonight, it's nice little winter day down here in Florida. And my Smoke Something, Drink Something merch. Tell me what you think about that. And I'm drinking a little Grey Goose and Publix lemonade. So, I had to let TLC make sure he saw, got the Grey Goose and the Publix lemonade. So it ain't good for my diabetes, but it's going to get the trick done tonight. All right, let's get into this thing. Do women really want a high value man? Now, before I get into this, I'm going to share my screen. We got to make sure that everybody understand. Everybody need to know Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. He's the one who kind of coined this phrase, okay? He's the one that kind of coined this phrase. And so I want to make sure that everybody kind of understands what it is, okay? And I just want to scroll down to this one right here. I should have had this already done. But we want to go with the Kevin Samuels definition of this before we get TLC in this thing. I hope I'm on the right screen. Here we go. Kevin Samuels, 6 traits of a high value man. Making money. Must earn a minimum of $10,000 per month. Number 2, consistent success. Maintain $100,000 yearly income for 3 to 5 years. Number 3, group acceptance. Be recognized by other high value men. Number 4, strong network. Don't be a lone wolf. Surround yourself with people who share a growth mindset. Number 5, visibility. Have a career that people understand or recognize. No sketchy schemes. Number 6, utility. Help other people out, whether that's your family, friends, or company. Now, I want to make sure. I'm going to leave that up, TLC. When you got the topic tonight and ask, do women really want a high value man? Give me your thoughts on that. Tell me what you were thinking.
Well, Kevin Samuels, I guess, coined that phrase "high value man." That was the first time, at least, on his podcast that I'd heard it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a new concept. Um, Other podcasts have covered it. There have been books out, what women want, this and that. What is that women really want, I guess, is what it basically boils down to when I heard the topic. And I was thinking about how far back can I go where I've heard of this question. This is like an age-old question. And to me, it's actually a fairy tale that I had to read like in middle school, believe it or not. It was on King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table.
Mm-hmm.
It goes all the way back there. And it's a story of Sir Godwin and him getting married. And just a brief summary of that, just so the listeners at home know what I'm talking about. King Arthur's walking through the woods. He sees a knight that's not a part of his round table. He's not armed. The knight's going to kill him. But the knight tells him, I'll give you 1 year to solve this riddle. If you can solve it, I won't take your life. And the question or the riddle is, what is that women desire the most? So King Arthur, he goes and scours the country with one of his knights. They ask maybe every woman they come in contact with, what is it that women desire the most? They ask thousands of women, they get thousands of answers. You know, this woman over here wants the guy with the nice car. This woman over here wants the guy with money. This woman wants the guy with good looks. Just every time they ask a woman, they get a different answer. Does that sound familiar? Yes.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's coming up on the end of the year. King Arthur doesn't have an answer for him for the night yet. The most hideous woman King Arthur has ever seen in his life appears. And she says, I know the knight that gave you that riddle. I know the answer to that riddle, but you would have to do something for me. You'd have to let me marry one of your knights. This lady is hideous. Unlike my boys, King Arthur's like, I can't sell my boy out. I can't have him marry this woman. She's too ugly. But the knight finds out about it. Of course, he's one of King Arthur's main boys. He's like, you know what? A true friend, if it keeps you alive, I'll do it. I'll marry the woman. So the knight marries the woman. The woman gives King Arthur the answer to the riddle. King Arthur rides off to answer the riddle. And now that the other knight, Sir Gawain is married, he's like, the ugly woman is like, I can't believe you willingly married me. Turn around and give me a kiss. Sir Gawain turns around. He kisses the woman. It's the most beautiful woman that he's ever seen in his life. She's like, well, you marrying me out of your own free will broke that curse. But you only temporarily broke it. I can be beautiful during the day and ugly at night, or I can be beautiful at night and ugly during the day. And I know a lot of people at home, they're going to wake up when they hear this podcast, look at their significant other, like maybe she was cursed too. But back to the riddle.
Here we go.
So Sir Gawain was like, I said I would marry you. I'm a knight. It's a noble thing to do. I'll always be with you. And since you're the one that has to live with this curse, I'll let you choose which one you want, whether you want to be beautiful during the day or beautiful during the night. And that actually broke the woman's curse completely, which was also the answer to the riddle that she gave King Arthur. She said, what will women want more than anything else is sovereignty. They want to be able to rule their own lives. They want to go and come as they see fit, not to be held by another. And that was the answer to the riddle then. And I think no matter what we talk to or what kind of spin we put on it, when you really narrow it down, regardless if it's Kevin Samuels, his new term or whatever, when you really narrow it down to what women want, the answer is going to be the same thing. And that story from King Arthur comes from like the 14th century. So it's been there for years and years and years. But even in today's world, you're going to get the same answer. Regardless if a woman tells you she wants a new car, guy with a nice car, guy with money, what was it, 100,000 a year or whatever Kevin Samuels says. It's like, well, why do you want that money? What's the purpose for it? I think you're going to come up with the same answer eventually. So that's my take on it.
Okay. Well, that's we took the Greyhound to get there. We took the Greyhound
I'm
to get
giving all kind of bedtime stories too. Next week's podcast is going to be on the Three Blind Mice.
Next podcast we're gonna talk about who King Arthur was for all of y'all who who don't know your history. But leave it up to TLC to bring in the analytic off the jump. So now we're trying to breathe some life back into this podcast real fast. Do
Try.
women really want a high value man?
I think yes, women do want a high value man, but not necessarily the responsibilities of having a high value man that comes with that. And what I mean by that is women will say what we want, but then it could change too, depending on the time, the day, or the minute. So, and that's all right. Like we could do that if we want. But I'm not that familiar with this particular man that y'all are referencing. But
Kevin Samuels, not King
those,
Arthur.
you know,
Trust me, didn't nobody confuse it with King Arthur. Trust me.
So I mean, those 6 points that you posted. I think, yeah, I think any woman would want a well-connected man, well known in a way that's respectful, man, and all those things. But I do believe that once you are a high value man, the access that you have to different types of things and different types of women, you got to be careful what you ask for because the more money a man makes, 9 times out of 10, the more women are going to be available to him at his disposal. So with a high value man comes with consequences that some women who are out here loving with their heart and soul and mind and body may not be able to handle the other side of it where everybody's going to want a piece of your man in some form or fashion. Back to you, JB.
Oh, okay, okay. I can respect that. I can respect that. And y'all know me, man. When we came up with this topic, the first thing I'm gonna tell you guys is actually pretty simple. I think the answer is no. I think the answer is no, and the reason why I think the answer is no, I got about 3 other websites I'm gonna share with y'all, and they'll all be linked in the description. I think the answer is no, and the reason the answer is no is because most women want to feel equal or they want to feel superior. So let's just take the gender out of this. If this was high value woman with these same 6, right? At the end of the day, she's not going to want a man that's going to sit around the house. If y'all remember last podcast when we talked about, the woman that's making this kind of money and the man stays at home type thing, we found out in one article that man is more likely to cheat. And so what you're finding right now is I don't think women want a high value man. I think that number of women are very, very low. I think most people have been taught traditionally. And I think that when they see this right here, a lot of people would see this as a red flag. A lot of women would see this as a red flag because the first thing they're going to say is he doesn't need me for anything. See, the more money you make, guys, the more life becomes transactional. When you get to this level, everything is processed logically. And so when you have women come around, if you don't know how to connect with this man based on these 6, you notice there's no room for emotion in here. So most women, they if they're not processing things emotionally, that thing becomes a labor of love because a guy that's a high value man never gets to take the cape off. He's got to be Superman all the time if he's doing this. And let's be honest, in this economy, even if you're making $10,000 a month, it ain't enough. Everybody, and then what he said, consistent success over 100,000 yearly income for 3-5 years. Give me 1 second, TLC. And one of the things I'm telling y'all is this: think about the Kiki Palmer podcast that we did, right? She's only being connected to high value men now. The guy she was with, right? He didn't have none of this that we are aware of, allegedly, right? So I'm not aware that he had any of this. Staying at home with the child is not going to get it when she's trying to revive her career. So my answer is no, because I would say we're basing it on the Kevin Samuels points. Now, go through some other people, like TLC said. I ain't going back as far as King Arthur, but I got 3 other websites that I'm going to show you guys on how they're processing it. And one of the things we got a problem with right now is people starting to define it differently. High value man is subjective, it's not objective. TLC, you had your hand up. Go ahead and jump in there.
Well, I was going to say, Jeff Bezos, he has all those things. He got divorced. Bill Gates had all those things. He got divorced.
Got divorced.
So a woman might initially be looking for those things, but once she finds a man that has those things, she's going to separate herself. Well, she's going to separate herself from that man and just have those things.
But stop right there,
without him.
TLC. But when they got married, they didn't have all that.
They didn't have all that.
Remember, they became high value men. Now, as a matter of fact, guys, you talking high value man versus what TLC just mentioned. You talking about the 1%ers. Now you got to you got to go through training classes to be able to stay with a man that got that kind of stuff, right? And so they dealing with a whole different ball game. They making $10,000 every second. They ain't making $10,000 a month, right? So that's a whole different ballgame when TLC brought up the 1%ers. But the moment those guys became high value men, let's just call them high value men for the sake of this podcast, the women were out. Now, Jeff Bezos has the new lady, Lauren Sanchez. She's made for this moment. You know, he in the gym, he on, you know, he taking care of his body. He doing all this stuff. But she's ready for this moment, right? The ex-wife didn't want that. And that's what we got to realize, guys. So when you ask me, do women want a high value man? What I'm going to tell you is if a woman met you when you were not high value, she don't want you when you become a high value man. That ain't what she married. Where a woman meets you is where she anchors you. And the moment you grow outside of that, y'all going to separate. Y'all are going to separate. And so I think that's one of the things I wanted to do. I'm going to share another article. I just want y'all to get a little bit of this. This podcast may run a little bit longer. Okay. This one is I'm going to go into the 12 traits. The 12 traits of a high value man. And then, Brian, I want you to jump in there. I'm over here at adultman.com. 12 traits of a high value man and how you can become one too. Now, this article was written in September 2023. Now, remember, guys, Kevin Samuel coined this. TLC. What color is that dude right there?
The dude?
Yeah, what
he
color
looks
is that
white.
dude? Hey, right?
He looks Caucasian.
He looks Caucasian, right? He looks Caucasian. Look at what this guy said. Back in 2017, I went through an extremely painful divorce. Now, right there, I want y'all to understand where this guy's coming from. Emotion is already in there. I want y'all to see this. Kevin Samuel, all logic, all business. This guy comes from his divorce. 10 years of marriage, relationship of 12. Everything in my life came to a screeching halt. I lost almost everything. I had to perform a total life reset. Okay? Now, I want to go down so y'all can see what he wrote. What makes a man high value? Here he is. I want to go there. Sorry, guys. I wanted to read some of this to you guys. He's proactive. He's proactive. Okay? He's intentional. Now, these 12 has some subsets, guys, so I just want to let you know. He takes action. All right? Number 2, he has a purpose. Okay? He visualizes his ideal future. He writes down his goals. He makes a plan. Number 3, he's radically self-responsible. Now, I want y'all to see this right here. Let me see if I can get rid of this ad. The difference between a boy and a man, boy stands for burden on you. Man means meet all your needs. Know the difference. And I said, here we go, right? Here we go. We go down to he spends his resources wisely. He wisely invests only in other high value people. He practices extreme ownership over his life. Right? Number 4, he's courageous. And I'm just going through this fast, y'all, for the sake of time. He's willing to leave the comfort zone. Remember what I just said. Where a woman meets you is where she anchors you. So if you go out of where she met you, that relationship is over. So do they want a high value man? Probably not. He fights the hard battles in life. Okay? We get in the number. He doesn't shy away from failure. Y'all know a lot of times when you're in a relationship, right? Look at what this says. Low value men are paralyzed by the idea of failure. They don't take risks. But this mindset has a very dangerous downside. Playing it safe and sitting in your comfort zone will keep you from finding some of the greatest opportunities in your life. Number 5, he obeys a code of behavior and ethics. Okay? And I'm just going through this, right? Maintains high standards of excellence. He holds people around him to higher standards as well. Okay? He helps his tribe survive and thrive. Women are drawn to men who broadcast protector and provider signals. These are qualities that women have literally evolved to look for. I want y'all to see the difference between the first one we did and now this. He strives to make the world a better place. He embraces a leadership role. He plays the role of servant leader. He leads by example. He maintains ironclad boundaries. Okay? He also enforces those boundaries with kindness and respect. He communicates in a straightforward manner, and I'm trying to get through these as fast as possible because I want to get Rhonda's opinion on that. He's not passive aggressive. He doesn't play indirect mind games. He's effective and competent. He's formidable. Okay? He's emotionally, psychologically, and physically strong. He's tough as nails. He's committed to self-improvement. I saw this, right? High-value men will always prioritize health and wellness. They won't skip gym days. They won't shy away from a difficult workout. I'm in there on level 1, man. Right? At the end of the day, I'm just trying to be active. He levels up his mind. He levels up his body. He levels up spiritually, not religiously. He levels up aesthetics. Your grooming gonna change when your resources change. And finally, he's confident and believes in himself. And look at what this quote. Men who become adept at cultivating quality and value in life generally don't struggle with dating or attraction. Women are naturally drawn to high-value men. It's a survival instinct that manifests as mating behavior. Now, we're not gonna do the how to become a high-value man. Rhonda, jump in there. Let me know what you thought after I read that long article.
Well, that was a lot of information. Um, I I think we're in a world of catchphrases and things that will get, that'll just get your attention. And um, you do want a man on your arm that is about something and that's really doing their thing in this world. But I don't know how realistic that article is for for most for most males out here. Um, is it attainable? Yes. But I don't know who's going to put in that work in this day and age when you have things like social media where, I mean, man, let's just be real. A lot of people will settle just to have somebody in their life. And like I said, these are good things to work towards. Like, to have a purpose. I think those are things that should be general qualities or something. But I could definitely see the difference between the unemotional part from the Kevin Samuels 6 compared to this guy who has been deeply hurt
Yes.
by his divorce. And it's a stark contradiction because where a woman by nature tends to want to be treated kindly and all that, like from societal norms. This day and age, man, women can go just as hard as any men out here, and that it's
Yes.
just definitely an imbalance. So
Ordering from off the menu, all that stuff TLC hate.
but now, but yeah, I'm just saying, like it is like it's we talked about it before. The roles are totally different now, and so for some men, coming with even a slight bit of emotion will get you ate alive by a lot of women out here.
And I gotta tell y'all this. The reason I pulled up that article, look how long it took for that guy to get there. Y'all see, this is why you can't change the definition of something. This is why we're using the Kevin Samuels one. Because when I read this 17 things, Kevin Samuels had broke that thing down to 6. And with Kevin Samuels, it's tangible. Right? So if you're not at the 10 grand per month, and if you're not there for 3 to 5 years consistently, okay, that's tangible I can work to. Right? All this other stuff this guy wrote down when he said he had come out of a divorce. Now he want to tell you what a high value man is. Right? He want to tell you what a high value man is. And the reason why I wanted y'all to pay attention to the color of the men in there is because high value man gonna be different on race. High value man is gonna be different based on race. But either way, no woman will tell you those 17 things when she say what she wanted a man. A woman is gonna be concise in what she says she wanted a man. This is why the Kevin Samuels one works, right? So if a lady is into athletes, what's the first thing she gonna say? Man, I want a baller. That's what she gonna say. I want a baller. It ain't gonna be a whole lot more than that. I want a baller. I don't want to work. I want to be able to do X, Y, and Z. She ain't asking for all that. And why Kevin Samuels was so powerful is that he broke it down with the money first. Some women and a lot of women don't want guys with money because in a lot of people's mentality, money means freedom to do, and he's not in bondage to you. But a lot of people don't realize freedom don't mean you running around crazy. Freedom means that you just operate differently. TLC, jump in there. Let me know what you think about the article.
When I compare it to the Kevin Samuels article, I think Kevin Samuels article, to me, it focused more on resources that a high-value man offers. Whereas when I read this article, it seemed to be more, I guess, characteristics of how he sees a high-value man. And it was interesting because it mentioned he went through a divorce. And, you know, most of the time, I don't know this person who wrote this article, but most of the time when a person goes through a divorce, they lose a certain amount of their resources.
And confidence.
But based on this article, he still would be deemed as a high-valued person because he still has those characteristics, even though he doesn't, or he may not have had those resources. But again, I don't know the individual. He may have still had those resources, but it seemed to touch more on a personal level, this one, versus Kevin Samuels. I
think what I didn't like about that article, guys, is that it was full of cliches, right? It was what I like about what Kevin Samuels wrote down is, especially in the black community, black people need tangible stuff to be able to achieve. If you show black people the laid out rules, black people, the black people I know, let me put it like that. The black people I know are going to be like, okay, if these are the rules, I'm going to do that. I'm going to excel at it. Right. It was so funny. I was having a conversation about algebra, and all I can remember about algebra, shout out to Miss Simmons who taught us algebra in 7th and 8th grade. And I'll never forget when she was teaching us how to solve equations. And one of the things she said was, you have to remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sal. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sal. What does that mean? It means you do parentheses, right? Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sal. Now, when she's giving you the test and they're asking you to solve, okay, I know what to go through. Now, a lot of people don't learn simple stuff like that anymore. So the reason I don't like that article is it came from a position of divorce. Now, last week we did a podcast on why being single is best. And I told y'all, if you married, don't go get divorced. Because what this guy's trying to tell you, he's changing the definition.
Plus, for entertainment purposes only.
For entertainment purposes only. For entertainment purposes only, right, guys? Don't go out here and get divorced listening to us now. We over here, real people having real conversation where we smoke cigars and sip on drinks, right? Now, but that last article just came from a position of emotion. And okay, I didn't know this in my first relationship, so now let me try to tell y'all what y'all should do. No. And again, I don't know if Kevin Samuels is divorced, married, whatever, right, before he died. But what I do know is those 6 things he pointed out, those are tangible things that allow people to say, this is what makes me have value. Now, for the sake of the other guys, some people can say, well, Jeff, Kevin Samuels gave you the 30,000-foot view. Oh, hell.
Oh. What did you do?
I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back in the game. My mic is acting up a little bit, guys, but I'm going to keep going. So that's what I see with the Kevin Samuels. That's what I see with the Kevin Samuels situation. So I want to go to this next article, TLC. 17.
Are you sure you're live? Because I have 0% for you as recording.
I got, I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going. My mic went out a little bit, but I'm gonna try to get it back right. So the thing is, guys, we're gonna go here to. Can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're gonna do, guys, is pretty simple. We're gonna go to this now. 17 traits and characteristics of a high value man. Okay.
This is a different article or the same guy?
It's a different article. This is different. Okay. Right? Are you looking for a unicorn when it comes to men? In more human terms, a unicorn man is also known as high value man. See, guys, look, Kevin Samuel just told you what it was. This article is called it a unicorn. Okay. So one of the issues I have is Kevin Samuels gave you 6 tangible things you could do. Okay. Now I just want to go through their 17 real fast. Sorry, guys, these are some long articles. Long articles, but we're gonna get there. I just want to get to the bullet points. All this will be linked in the description, guys. All right. How to become a high value man with this lady, right? Embrace the journey of self-discovery. Read intellectual books. Okay? Make a conscious choice to transcend your current position. Learn who you are and allow yourself to like your good points and work on your trouble points. Embrace authenticity. Create a positive mindset, resilience, and fortitude. Learn about emotional intelligence and listen more than you talk. Begin to think about how you feel and practice greater self-awareness of feelings in general. Stop judging others. Count your blessings. Practice daily gratitude. Work on your relationships. Make life better for others by taking better care of yourself. Practice presence. Discover the power of saying no, right? This is not a sprint to some magical line, blah, 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 blah. Keep working at it. Never accept mediocrity. Okay? Then it tells you how to find one. Be self-confident. Be supportive. Be his equal. Now, they done messed you up before they even get in here, right? So their characteristics, generous, but not to a fault. I just want to go through this and tell y'all why you really want to pay attention to what Kevin said. Emotionally intelligent and emotionally available. Nothing in the Kevin Samuels one talked about emotionally intelligence and emotionally available. Okay? Number 3, goes after his goals. I like that one. Number 4, knows his purpose in life. Number 5, values honesty and transparency. Number 6, cares for himself. Number 7, lives his life his way and embraces authenticity. High self-esteem and self-confident. Growth mindset. Responsible. He's a leader. He's respectful, consistent, and reliable. He seeks balance in life. He's independent. And Ron, I'm going to get you to jump in here. He values boundaries. Self-aware and focused on self-improvement. And again, guys, this will all be linked in the description. Great communication and listening skills. Now, Rhonda, jump in there. Let me know what you think.
I mean, this is exhausting, is what it is, right? Like this, this right here. There is quite a bit of overlap to this, but again, at this core, I don't know how many men are gonna go through all of that to go through the headache of a relationship, whether that's married or dating. Um, of course, you want great communication skills. Of course, you want someone that knows how to say no. Like, of course, you want those things. Um, I think people will pay attention more to stuff that is straightforward and to the point. But in the world that we live in now, you have to know what you want, who you want. And yeah, if you know that your man is making a certain amount of money, yes, is that helpful? If that's what you want, if that's the first thing that you think of, because yeah, you need to be able to have the resources to be able to do anything. But it's nothing like having somebody that does know how to network and do their thing when it comes to that, and they're respected around, in their different organizations and things like that. But this just seems to um I don't know, soften things up some, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, like
Beta.
just
It
kind of.
turns it into a beta male. It turns it into a beta male's way of accepting the fact that you're not dealing with the tangible. You're not dealing with the tangible. How do I know I'm good at
Yeah,
these 17 things? I should see some tangible results.
well, it's 17 things. That's where he messed up.
Yeah,
It's
it's too
17
many.
things. Yeah,
It's
it's
too
way too
many.
many. Hmm.
Jump in there, TLC. Let me know what you. TLC probably like this article. He King Arthur over here.
No. I do agree. It was a little long. Some of those were kind of broad. The guy has to be generous. Like, how do you measure someone's generosity? Like, things of that nature. It was very broad. So I think it's kind of hard to pin down 17 of these attributes in a person just because it's so long and extensive. But
Yeah. And I think, guys, look, the reason why I'm bringing y'all these is because what made Kevin Samuels, everything he talked about was tangible stuff that you needed to do. Okay,
Well,
everything
this
he talked
article
about.
will make you cheat. This article will make you cheat because you're tired by the time you get to number 2.
Yeah, you're gonna give up. If you read this, you're not gonna want to become a high value man. I just stayed where I am. You talking
Yeah.
about 17 things, and I got one more article. I got one more article for y'all before we can really take y'all to the cross,
Mm.
right? Because now I'm gonna just go over here to WikiHow real fast. 12 positive traits that define a high value man. Okay, we just gonna go through this real fast. Okay, what is a high value man? Blah 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 blah. A high value man is respected and successful. All right, type of guy people want to be around. All this kind of stuff, right? Kevin Samuels told you up front, 10 grand a month, do that for 3 to 5 years. Right? Here goes the traits. Here goes the traits. He builds success for him and others, blah, blah, blah. He's always growing. Okay. There go me in the gym.
Oh,
Is
please.
emotionally and physically strong. He's emotionally intelligent. He's assertive. He's responsible. So somebody plagiarizing. He's vulnerable and communicative.
Mm.
He maintains healthy relationships. He takes care of himself. He's confident and self-assured. He sticks to his values and belief. Then it says how to be a high-value man. Find purpose and set goals for it. Work on developing your confidence.
Mm.
Surround yourself with like-minded people. Exercise, eat well, and develop your style to feel good about yourself. Okay? Now that was WikiHow. All this is going to be linked in the description. TLC, what you thinking when you see that article?
it's like, when you see those commercials on TV, it's for like a 7-minute ab workout. And then later on, someone comes out with a 5-minute ab workout. And then it's just like,
3-minute
okay.
ab workout.
Right.
And then here, take your Ozempics.
Hate to go back to my King Arthur, but when they're riding across the countryside, they ask all these women, and everyone gives a different answer. That's pretty much what it feels like. It's just
Yes.
someone else giving a different answer for the age-old question. It's just coming back around. What is it that women truly want? And you got a 12-minute response over here. You got a 17-minute response over here. 6 minutes over here. Like,
Yeah.
I guess just whichever way you want to go with, but
But I think that, and we get back to the regular question of the podcast, guys. We get back to the question. The question is actually pretty simple. Do women want a high value man? And we gonna use the Kevin Samuel one. Because I'm gonna tell you like this. Look, I done read Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna go water his message down and call it high value man. Because when you say be proactive and do all this stuff, I can go read John Maxwell books. I can go read Stephen Covey. I can read Tony Robbins. I can read Grant Cardone. I can read Zig Ziglar. You can read all of these self-help guys. But we talking about high value man. And out of all the people who were known the most about high value man, and this man has become more powerful since he died. TLC, I think you can agree with that. His stuff is going more viral on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube now that he's dead.
oh, he's
A lot
still
of people,
popular.
he's still popular. A lot of people hated him when he was living. But look at what he was saying. Now, I just showed y'all 3 other articles that went through all of that intangible stuff. Guys, look, let me tell you something. You can go to the gym 7 days a week. You can go to the gym 7 days a week. But if the gym ain't paying you that, okay, is that gym coming at the expense of you making your money? And back when I was in corporate America, the first thing they told us was about pay time and non-pay time. And your schedule should be full of pay time activities and limited on the non-pay activities. So you got people in the gym thinking that they gonna make money because they spending time in the gym. No, you go to the gym to clear your head so you can come back and focus on the things you know how to do to make money. So Rhonda, when you see all those articles as a woman, which ones make more sense to you? Does it make
Of
sense to do
course,
the tangible stuff or this intangible stuff?
no, of course, it makes sense to do the tangible things. Like we all need every day in the type of work I do. People need the tangible things. They don't want to know why they're hurting. They just want you to fix it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there has to be a reason for the pain, something visible for the pain. And so yeah, this makes it very simple. And either you could do it or you can't. Either you want to or you don't want to. With this particular Kevin Samuels article here. There's other stuff that the other articles depend on how you wake up feeling that day. Or if somebody
Mm-hmm.
looked at you wrong, or somebody cut you off on the highway. Like something like that can easily shift how your day goes. But if you can't do number three, where there's a group acceptance and you a butthole to everybody, then hey, you can't be no high value man. It's very simple. Either you do or you don't. You will or you won't.
And
I
look,
don't know where I
I'm
got
gonna
that
tell
from,
you,
but
no,
yeah.
no, no. I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna tell y'all like this. The other articles focus on men who are not have that on high value, who are not high value men. The topic of this podcast is: do women want high value men? Not do women want somebody who hope one day they can be right? And I think we got to make sure we understand that because one of the things that Kevin Samuels' teachings are doing now, because again, once he passed away, it's like more and more people started going to hear what he talked about. Him, Andrew Tate, those types of guys that are going back to this masculinity. If y'all go back through our playlist, you're going to see why is masculinity under attack. We did that podcast a while ago. But one of the things that's happening is a lot of men are not having these conversations. A lot of people are not having these conversations. Parents are not having these conversations with these kids. And again, maintain $100,000 yearly income for 3 to 5 years. Right? Those other articles that we showed, that's not telling you a benchmark that you got to get to. Right? Even our tax code tells you the benchmarks. If you make under this, you ain't paying no taxes. If you make this, you paying this percentage. If you make this, you're gonna pay this percentage. If you make above this, you're gonna pay this percentage. None of those articles gave you benchmarks, which is why you'll never become a high value man. Because in order for me to know what I'm working toward, there's got to be a destination so I can start my journey. And I think now this number's gonna have to go up to $35,000 a month, $500,000. Everything then going up. You could be making $100,000 a year and still living check to check right now. Okay. And what'll happen, guys, is I like number 5. I don't know if y'all can see that, but have a career that people understand. When we first started doing this podcast, Ron and TLC said, "Don't be calling me about no Bitcoin." Right? Right? Don't follow me if you trying to sell me Bitcoin. Careers that people can understand, guys. And again, the reason why I wanted to do this podcast because a lot of high value men are being attacked. The reason why women don't want a high value man is because the high value man gets attacked. The guy out of those other 3 articles that claim he working on becoming a high value man, he's being accepted. Why? It's a 50-50. It's you might have to cover for him every now and then, all that kind of stuff. But this right here, this man right here is completely different. Jump in that TLC, let me know what you think.
Again, it doesn't matter which list you put up. I think it's all about it's a vehicle. The woman doesn't really want the man itself. She wants to change in her own lifestyle. It doesn't have anything to do with the man at all. And again, I think it's about a woman just wants a certain amount of freedom in their life. And they might see this man as an opportunity to achieve that. But once they have the man, they don't need the man for that lifestyle. That's just my take on it.
But they do need the man.
I don't think they need the man. No, because they're going to eventually leave him and divorce him. They'll still have that lifestyle. They just won't have the man. That's my point. So the man is just a vehicle to get them to a different lifestyle. They
But
want that lifestyle. They don't want the man.
but
Is my
TLC,
point.
that man, that high value man, if you meet him at that level, he's signing a prenup. So she may not have that lifestyle. She may not have that lifestyle when she leaves if she divorces.
Once she gets into that realm in that region, she'll meet another man on that level in that region.
Oh, I agree. The network she
she'll
gonna
be in
meet.
that world. She'll be
When you say
world.
TLC, you watch enough Law and Order to see it. You watch enough
Oh
Investigation
Lord.
Discovery and Snap. You see it TLC.
I'm just saying that's not the. I don't think the man itself is the end game.
And see TLC, I'm a little bit different. I think the man is the end game. Y'all see the news about? I should have pulled this up, but y'all see Drea has just got with the Houston Rockets baller, the NBA player. I can't remember his name. It's escaping me right now. 39 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He 21. She pregnant by him allegedly. Now this will be her fourth child by an NBA player. Fourth child by NBA player. 39 years old. And one of the things people were talking about is, why didn't he go with somebody his age? And the reason he didn't go with somebody his age is because somebody his age was never taught to communicate with him at the level that he was at, but also to physically give him what he wanted. She is experienced in dealing with NBA ballers.
That's my point. Once she has his baby, she doesn't really need him.
She don't need him
in her day-to-day life. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't. Once she finds the man, she doesn't need the man.
Agree, but she got pregnant.
They have the
TLC.
lifestyle.
But she got pregnant at that point, right? Everybody ain't gonna get pregnant, but I want you guys to see that, because this high value man TLC is the key to it. Look, you ain't seeing Jeff Bezos' wife out there getting a high value man. When Cassie left Diddy, she didn't go get a high value man.
They don't need him now.
No, because they got all of Diddy's money.
Correct. They have the lifestyle now.
Yeah.
You only need the man. You need the man.
Yeah.
You might need the man in their minds to achieve that lifestyle. Once you have that lifestyle, you don't need the man. You can eliminate him from the picture. That's my point.
I get what you're saying, TLC. I get what you're saying. But she got it based on lawsuit and that kind of thing. When they first broke up, that lifestyle didn't follow her. They were struggling. Now you can tell some of that settlement money done shown up, because her most recent pictures, she out here looking like a supermodel again. Husband looking like a supermodel too. So the reason why I'm talking about this high value man thing, guys, is why can't we have conversations about tangible things? And the one thing I can appreciate about Canvas Sam is I'm bringing up the race component again. Black people in particular, we just do better when there's tangible rules of what we're working toward, TLC. Ron, what do you think when you hear me say that? If we know the rules, we can achieve. That stuff in them other articles, that's subjective stuff that, okay, how do you know you're doing it? What should it look like? Go ahead, Ron, jump in there.
Of course, like those things are subjective. And yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
Now. Yeah, of course those things are subjective. Again, like somebody could say, oh yeah, I've done the work and I have only gone to one therapy session, right? When the therapist is like, oh no, we need you to be here. It's no different than when you get injured. If a player, whether it's basketball, football, or any sport, if you get hurt, there's points that you have to hit in your recovery in order to know if you're on the right track to be able to become back to your, to your glory days and things like that. If you don't do the proper PT and rehab, then you won't be able to do those types of things. So when it comes to relationships, there should be bullet points and tangible things that you can hit. But if you have somebody that needs to be coddled all the time, then you deserve whatever you get. That means you're gonna have your fifth child if you already have four. You're gonna have like whatever, like in that spouse or mate that you're gonna have. But the only thing about the tangibles of Kevin Samuel's list is that means that those guys have to be responsible. Like they literally, you got to see where the rubber meets the road with those tangibles like that, because it is so clear, right? And if women walked around and went on dates with guys, if they're entertaining them and asking them about these check marks,
because you see there,
you want somebody that's going to have goals, see how you are 3 to 5 years out, and all this and all that, right? But if women did that, women would definitely be lonely, right? And then women tend to, in a lot of cases, will look at the potential of a man instead of where they are now, unless you're just groomed to be those types of females that know when somebody gets drafted in the NBA, okay, you waiting behind the curtain. When he signed that contract, okay, let's get it, let's go, because that's what they're groomed for. which is why you could have certain women that's out here having multiple babies by certain professional
Yes.
athletes
But
and things
the
like
same
that.
thing
Right? They're
happens. The same
groomed
thing
for that
happens with
thing.
doctors. The same thing happens with doctors and attorneys too,
Yeah, you make a certain
right?
amount of money, your access and your exposure to certain things get changed. And so whether that means you grew up having missionary sex, you get a little money, you're gonna be doing a little bit more different
Hold on, hold on,
type of
hold
stuff.
on. Where they go?
Did someone say menage a
What?
trois from
There we go.
California?
Yeah, there go this video. Okay, there we go. There we, TLC
That's
said
what
I
I'm
was in the
saying. You know
spirit.
what I'm saying. I didn't
I
see
think
the
that,
other word.
but I think, guys, look. I think, look. My thing with the high value man is Kevin Samuels got attacked for this, and not only since he's died has he been getting appreciated for this. And I think that a lot of women, the reason why I say women don't want it is because, Ronnie, I like the word you use, groom. When
Hmm.
did women stop being groomed to look for high value men? Because what happened to the days when you used to have to meet the father first? He had to know what you were doing. They had to know your family. They had to know what you were gonna be,
Yeah,
working
your
toward.
intentions.
That was
Yes.
your intention. That's process. That ain't happening no more. I can hit you up in the DMs right now. We ain't asking
Hmm.
no questions. As a
And guess
matter of
what? I don't
fact,
have no
it's
daddy. I don't have
I
no
don't have
daddy
no
for you
daddy
to.
or my mama,
Yes.
right? Now here's the
Yes.
funny thing. That's why I'm saying women don't want a high value man because they're not being groomed on how to attract one. And just because I ain't got no problems with athletes. But a lot of people got to understand an athlete is a high paid employee. Okay? He's a high paid employee. That's why they can cut them at any given time. Right? They can cut them at any given time. But you don't see no owners. If an owner gets cut, if they try to take an owner's team, they got to pay him. But if they cut the player, they can figure out a way to not pay him. And now
Hmm.
everything you thought you had with this high paid employee, he's not a high value man, he's a high paid employee. Now, granted, he has more cash, but what Kevin Samuels was talking about is just being able to sustain something that's not based on physical, if you will. Because what happens if this guy blows his knee out? They're going to try to recoup that money. Or they got an insurance plan on that contract so they don't have to pay it. And I think, Ron, I'm glad you brought up that word groom because these women are not being groomed to like what Kevin Samuels put up. That's why they attack it. When they call him and they would tell him, man, I'm 250 pounds, I'm this, he's man, he hang up on him. He hang up on me. You ain't getting no high value man. Right now, he need
Mm.
to love me, blah, 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 blah. No, it don't work like that. And what happens is, guys, the disappointment is being passed down from generation to generation. That's why I'm saying women don't want a high value man. They want a man who's going to understand where they are. They don't want a man who's going to try to make them be in this certain bubble that's going to require. You know how good you got to look all the time if your man got those 6 traits Kevin Samuels had? You got to be on your game all the time.
Hmm.
You got to be on your game all the time, TLC. And one of the things that we find is y'all do me a favor, man. Go to y'all local 5-star prime steakhouse on a Friday and Saturday night, and watch what the women got to wear to walk in there. Now imagine you got to do that 7 nights a week.
Mm.
Imagine you got to do that 7 nights a week because that's your lifestyle. You going to networking events, you going to charity events,
Edge
you
is gone.
volunteer. Say what, Ronnie?
Hmm. I said your edges are
Go ahead,
gone
TLC.
because you got to wear the wigs. No, because you always got to put your face on. You always got to put your
Yeah,
face on.
you got to
That's
put.
all.
That's what your life is. That's the life you should want, right? William and Kate got to go in there with their face on. She's the queen. She was raised to get with a high value man. They sent her to that college knowing William was going to be at that college. Go ahead, TLC. Jump in. I see you got your hand up.
You're talking about grooming women today. And when you mentioned the steakhouse, the last time I went to a steakhouse was downtown Raleigh. It was this really nice steakhouse. Everybody's in there dressed. Men got on the
They got
sport
a
coats
golden
and
corral.
everything.
They got a golden corral down there, downtown Raleigh.
The
All right, go
sizzler,
ahead,
the
TLC.
sizzler on the best of me. Nah, but I was in there, and this guy was in there with this girl, and you could just tell we're talking about like grooming. It looked like she was wearing like a dress that you would wear like in the club, kind of like something Sierra would have on in the wars, like just body parts showing everything. Completely inappropriate for the steakhouse, and of course all the dudes in there were checking her out, like but not like in a good way, just like it's like she wasn't groomed to like how do I
Yeah, she
dress
didn't get
for a
told.
classy steakhouse. It just popped in my head when you mentioned being groomed and women today, and it's just like, wow, she had no clue of what to wear to like a steak, just a nice casual dress. She had on something that was like see through, and it was like, wow, it was scandalous.
Yeah, but TLC, that's the whole point I'm trying to make. We had to get taught on how to interact when you going to try to get with a girl. The girl had to learn how to be courted, if you will, right? She had to learn how to do that. You had to learn how to carry yourself on a date. We got taught how to eat at a table, right? You know, all these kind of things. This is why women don't want it now. Because at the end of the day, TLC, that woman left out of that steakhouse probably saying, oh my God, I felt out of place. I don't want to have that lifestyle. But the first thing he should have done, if he wanted to take her, he should have said, we going to Nordstrom's, we going to Neiman's. I'm going to take you. I'm going to show you what to wear. I'm going to walk you through. You don't ever put that person in a position where they feel lesser than. You see what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of people, the reason why women don't want a high value man, they haven't been taught to be with one. How do you know you ain't been taught to be with one? If your mama and daddy hadn't taught you how to be with one, if you hadn't been to some of these restaurants, all this kind of stuff, what's the first thing corporate America do when they get you in there? First thing they do is they take you to one of them nice restaurants to get you to learn how to take out customers and how to make the customer feel important so they can do more business with you and that kind of thing. So I'm glad you brought that up, TLC, because that's a good example. But right now, these women do not want a high value man. All you got to do is go post TLC that you just bought a $10 million house in Wakefield on the golf course and watch how many people hate. Ain't nobody, me and Bob gonna be the only one who like it. Everybody else gonna be like, man, what you need all that? You could have gave that to the homeless. And we hate high value now. Why do we hate high value? Because all we learned how to do was struggle. That's all we learned how to do is struggle, and we put the value in the struggle. And this is why women don't want a high value man. Now, some of y'all gonna pipe back and say, nah, Jeff, every woman ain't like that. Yeah, I get it, every woman ain't like that. But why does the high value man have it hard and the dude laying on your couch get support? Jump in there, TLC. Let me know what you think about when you hear me say that.
I think part of it's just you're on an island on your own. Once you get to a certain level of success, people around you may not understand what it is you're going through on your day-to-day life, what it is it takes to keep that success going. I think you mentioned for the high value man, it's over a 3-year period.
Yeah,
right?
3 to 5 year period.
Yeah, he's going through his own thing. Everybody in life has to deal with their own problems, their own stress. And at a different level, it's a different amount of stress that he's going through. He doesn't have less stress. He just has different stress. And if you're not in that world, then you might not know how to cope with that.
Yeah. What about you, Rhonda? What do you think when you hear that?
Again, if somebody's not gonna put in the work to be where it is that they want to be, it depends on what circles you're in. Like if you're in certain rooms and you're either trying to get to that point or you're already there, you're going to have access to certain things that most regular men, which is who our audience is, are mostly like regular people trying to make their way, right? And so you have to have mentors. It's so many things that you have to do to even think of yourself as a high value man. And if I just don't know if where we are in this day and age, if there are men that are like that truly want to put in the work to get to those six steps that he's giving you. I just don't think it's possible. I don't think
Rhonda,
it's
I'm gonna say
possible.
this to you. I don't think a lot of women want a high value man because that woman looks at that man and says, no, that's who you are in public. I'm gonna get to know the real you. See, a lot of high value men, sometimes they take that cape off when the light's not on, when people ain't looking. And a lot of high value men are attracted to what they attracted to what they were attracted to when they didn't have it. And that's why the woman don't ever level up. Because she just like, no, I know the real you. You ever notice when people get divorced? Think about it. This Fannie Willis situation. Go ahead, TLC.
I was going to say, I think you mentioned you want to do a podcast on this topic at another time. But
Yeah.
it was a issue where Shaquille O'Neal said, I can't cry or anything in front of my woman because as soon as I do that, it'll come back on me later on. So
Yes.
you always got to play that role. You got to, if you're the boss, you got to be the boss. You're going to be the high value man. You got to be. You can't go home and cry.
And 24 hours a day.
And
24. If you gonna cry, you better cry at Starbucks in a city that don't nobody know you. Man, y'all see Jeff over there crying like that? Man, that dude was balling. right?
Wonder
And
what
that's what I'm
happened to
trying to
him.
tell you. That's
Yes.
what we got to start looking at. The woman is gonna try to get to know the real you because don't no woman believe you are high value 24/7. What the woman believes, if you Superman when you need to be, and you Clark Kent begging after Lois when ain't nobody watching, and that's what they believe. That's why they don't want a high value man, because if they meet a high value man, they gonna make you come down to the level they at.
But
Go ahead, Ron.
but isn't that most marriages and relationships? Yes, y'all like people like we about to have one of the biggest times to be celebrated with the Super Bowl coming up, right? You're gonna have Super Bowl parties, couples gonna put up this facade, act like everything is good, da da da. Then when it's over, you go back to not even liking each other. But hey, at least we put up this good front for our friends to think that we have such a great marriage or relationship or what have you.
Yes.
And I think that is the norm. One of my favorite examples is Ike and Tina Turner. They threw down on the stage, but
Yes.
threw down behind closed
Behind
doors,
closed doors. Mhm.
right? Where that was the real him, like that was the real like them. And as horrible as it was behind closed doors, they did put out some really great timeless music throughout the years. But was it worth it? It goes back to what we were talking about before in another podcast. Like you're gonna sell yourself out at some level. There's gonna be a
Mhm.
crossroads for you where you're gonna say, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna sacrifice this so I can have this." Right? And
Yep.
so I just don't know. Um, us women can really switch our minds really, really quick. We know that from the very basic question of where do you want to eat tonight? What do you want for dinner? We know how that can
Mhm.
cause World War III, like for a lot
Yep.
of couples.
Yep.
And so, with something as fragile as that, even though it's serious because most women are serious about their food, it's just that do you want to go through all of that to become a high value man and then have somebody that's going to argue with you about what we're going to eat?
And,
It
and,
just
and,
it
guess, and
doesn't add up
but
because the
Rhonda, I
Bible
think
said
that's
they're
the
unequally yoked.
unequally yoked, and that's the biggest thing, right? Most women have been taught by the women in their life not to want a guy like that because he gonna cheat, he gonna treat you like crap, he gonna do this, he gonna do that. And realistically, now I'm gonna go use these other three articles. These other three articles we're talking about, he gonna help you grow too, right? Why don't you ever get taught that about the high value man? They basically just said he gonna make sure everybody around him level up, right? And but a lot of people, you got to stay at a certain level in order to stay accepted in your circle. And I think that's the struggle that we got on why women don't want a high value man, because we don't question the losers. We only question the winners. And that's what I like about what Kevin Samuel said. Here's the 6 tangible things. A woman can't question that. She can't question it, which is why she don't want it. A woman got to investigate everything. That's why the TV channel is called Investigation Discovery. Right? Because again, they want to investigate everything. TLC, what's your closing thought for the night, brother?
But I'm a huge Kevin Samuels fan. I thought he had one of the best podcasts out there. Just the way,
Yes.
especially with social media now, the way he covered topics and touched on points that made it easy for people to relate to, I thought was
Yeah,
awesome.
kind of like me. Kind of like me. Go ahead.
Mm.
Anyway, but I mean, what women want is an age-old question, and like the fairy tale said, you ask 100 women, you probably get 100 different answers. But I still think the answer to the riddle was the same. Women just want to be able to rule their own lives as they see fit. They don't want to be beholden to anyone else, and they want that freedom. And some women may associate that with a certain man, but I think that man is just the vehicle to get them to where they want to be in life. And once they get to where they want to be in life, they don't need the man. So that's my closing thought.
Okay. Rhonda, what's your closing thought?
Um, be be careful about what you ask a woman to begin with. If you are dealing with someone who you don't know where they may stand on something, don't ask them certain questions. Women will say a lot of things of what they want, but when the rubber meets the road, they're not ready to accept that. It's like you can't believe something that's good, but you'll trust all the red flags for a lot of women in a lot of cases.
Yes.
And that's the unfortunate part because it sounds good to say to your outward circle, oh yes, I only want a high value man, but you're not ready for the requirements of being on the arm of a high value man. And so I think no, they don't want a high value man um because it's work. And in relationships that we see now, people don't want to work to keep it
Okay.
however they need it. Back to you, JB.
Okay. All right. And look, y'all know, I don't think they want a high value man. How do you know? Because what you got to look at, guys, is go to where high value men are, and you ain't going to see some of the women you would hope to see there. Because in order to be in that room, everybody has been trained at a high level. Now, you may not been trained on a certain topic or something like that, but you've been trained to be in that environment. Like attracts like. If that person is not in your room already, if that person is not in your circle already, do not try to bring that person into your circle. Because if you try to bring a woman that's not in a high value man's circle already, all she's going to do is take you out of that circle. Because she's going to hate it. She's going to tell you how she doesn't want to do it. You're going to start making excuses and not showing up in your network. All that kind of stuff. Only date women who are already in your circle. Do not look at these movies you see made in Hollywood that it's going to be some fairy tale where you pick her up and she just loves that environment. It's not going to happen. She's going to hate it, because going with you into that neighborhood or into that lifestyle means she got to cut off her entire lifestyle in order to stay with you. If you already get somebody who's there, who's comfortable being there, she ready to rock and roll with you from day one. And you ain't going to have all these fights. Like attracts like. Eagles mate with eagles. Lions mate with lions. All that kind of stuff, right? There used to be a show on Nickelodeon, a cartoon called Cat Dog.
Yes.
Cat Dog, right? If you are a high value man and you go get somebody who's not in that environment already, you got a problem. Because now you're just walking around looking like Cat Dog. And you don't want to be looking like two people who are not available. And guys, y'all know what it is, man. It's to smoke something, drink something, podcast. I'm the Real Cigar Jeff, man. Look down in the description, support the channel, get the merch, man. Looks like we done lost TLC. I don't know if he coming back in or not. But man, I just appreciate y'all coming in. Do me a favor, man. Help us out with the algorithm. Like this podcast, share this podcast, man. Get down in the comments. Let us know what you're thinking, man. Again, for entertainment purposes only. Rhonda, let them know where they can find you at on the socials.
You can find me on Instagram at RMBLMBT.
Cool, man. Look, we lost TLC, but y'all can find him at TL Clayton #1. His stuff is down in the description. All the links for the articles are down in the description. And guys, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Get down in the comments again. Let us know what you're thinking. And until next time, we go holler. Yeah. It's your boy JB, live and direct to you. You know what it is. Like and subscribe to.